What is going on, guys? It's your boy Big Dyllan and welcome back to another Destiny 2 build guide. Today this one's going to be for all of you hunter mains out there, and this is going to be a PVE focused build. You can use this in PvP if you wish, but again it's just not as effective as it is in PvE. So this is a infinite throwing knife build, as long as you can use your abilities, at the correct times and chain them constantly. So this is going to be like a 2-in-1 build, I suppose you could say. I'm going to be going over 2 exotic armor pieces that work with this build and synergize very well. Now again, I'm going to go over why I use, which exotic depending on what activity I may be doing, or if certain modifiers are active. And yeah, let's just get straight to it. So for the skill tree first, we'll just go over it. So for the grenade, the dodge and the jump, well, at least actually for the jump and the grenade you can use whatever you want, but for the dodge, make sure you're using Gambler's dodge. This is a key part to the build. So dodging near enemies fully recharges your melee ability. Very, very useful when we obviously get into it a little bit more. Obviously you got your super, blade barrage, don't really need to go over that. Knife trick, throw a fan of flaming knives that burns targets on hit. This is also very key. So the next one, the burning edge, while enemies burn, your dodge ability recharges faster. So these two perks synergize very well. So whilst you're going to be throwing your knives, burning the enemies, that's going to in return proc the burning edge, which is going to reduce the cooldown on your dodge ability. So then you can then dodge next to enemies, which will charge your melee ability. And then you can basically rinse repeat. You can throw another knife, that will cool down your dodge. Once you get your dodge, you can dodge and get another throwing knife. Synergizes very well does this class in my personal opinion. And then also, destroying burning enemies recharges your knife trick more quickly. So again, another perk that synergizes very, very well with this build. So what you'd do is you'd throw your knife, which would proc the burn. That would in return cool down your dodge, and it would also recharge your knife trick a little bit quickly. And then obviously you get your dodge, you get your next charge, and then basically it's just rinse repeat from there. So getting into the 2 exotic armor pieces that we're going to be using with this build. First one is OPHIDIA SPATHE. Now this one was from the Warmind DLC. I used to get confused with this. I thought the exotic just wasn't working, I thought it was bugged. Obviously it says grants 2 knives per charge. So me thinking 2 knives per charge, I was like, oh, so I can throw 4 throwing knives then, because this exotic gives you an extra throwing knife charge. So I thought 2 knives per charge, that would mean 4 throwing knives. That's not how it works. I'm an idiot, and after some testing with it, I realised what it means now. So what this exotic does is it will give you an extra, obviously, charge for your throwing knives. So you can throw 2 throwing knives, and then if you were to dodge next to an enemy, obviously to charge your melees, which we just went over in the skill tree a second ago, it will give you 2 full charges back rather than the 1. So then obviously you throw your 2 throwing knives, then you're empty, and then you dodge next to an enemy, and then you can throw another 2 throwing knives. Dodge next to an enemy, throw another 2 throwing knives. Rinse, repeat. That's how this exotic works, in case you were wondering. The next one is the Sixth Coyote. This one got introduced in the Forsaken DLC. Again, I've been pretty lucky that I actually managed to get my hands on this. So this one is gain a second dodge, and that's it. So you get 2 dodge charges. This one, again, I'll get into reasons as to why I like to use certain exotics in certain situations, but this one's just usually a little bit more of a comfortable exotic to use in content when you don't have certain modifiers active, which I'll get into in a second. And yeah, for the rest of the armor, now what you could do in all of your armor pieces, if you have the glimmer and the mods available, if you wanted to sort of, further enhance this build, you could do increases melee regeneration mods in every single armor piece, and that would work very, very well. You could do the super one depending on what you want, but yeah, I mean the melee regeneration ones would synergize this build perfect. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get into a little bit of gameplay and I'll dive into why I use certain exotics. Right guys, so the first exotic we are taking a look at is the OPHIDIA SPATHE first, and then we'll get into the Sixth Coyote after. So with this one, I like to use this if I am doing stuff where the Brawler modifier is active. Now what I've done, just for showcase purposes, I've gone into a Nightfall, and then I've put Solar Singe on, and I put Brawler on. So the main obviously modifier we're trying to look at here is just the Brawler. So this is melee abilities deal more damage and they recharge much faster. So what I like to do is, where am I? Right, so this is where we need to go. So first things first, obviously how I like to use this build, obviously use your throwing knives to get kills. Now when you reach a ×3, you get your throwing knives back, as you can see, at an absolutely ridiculous rate. It's just pretty much you throw one and you can throw another one straight away. It's absolutely insane when Brawler's active with this buff, right? But let's say we mess up our throwing knives, and let's say we miss the first two, right? That's when the dodge comes in handy. So let's say we throw our knives at the floor, get rid of them. I'm like, oh damn, I missed. And then what you do is go next to an enemy, dodge, and then you get your throwing knives back, and then you can use them again. And basically, just rinse and repeat. As you can see, enemies will burn as well. But the main thing is you want to be hitting your enemies with your knives, and then they just deal like insane amounts of damage. If the Minotaurs go away, thank you. So I'll just go through the rest of this room, sort of showcasing how ridiculous it can be and how fun it actually is to use. So that's the first exotic, and that's how I like to use it. That's how it functions. So like I said, the reason I like to use this one when the Brawler modifier is active, because you don't really find yourself dodging that much. You don't need to dodge, because the enemies, like I said, you get your throwing knives back that quick. You just don't need the extra dodge charge. So yeah, that's the first exotic out of the way. Right guys, so the last exotic chest piece we're taking a look at is again the 6th Coyote. This is the one that gives you an extra dodge charge. Now this one is a little bit more of an advanced build. It's a lot harder to use. You have to know when to use a certain ability, how to rotate certain things. If you don't know how to rotate them, or if you waste a certain ability, you will be sort of left hanging and you won't have any throwing knives or any dodge charges to use, and you just sort of, you know, you have to wait for them to recharge. So again, this is for more advanced players. Now getting into the modifiers for this, just to prove it to you, I have no modifiers active whatsoever. I'm in a Nightfall Strike, so I've got no Solar Burn, no Brawler active, unlike the last chest piece which I just showed you. So this one, let's just get straight to it. So with this, what I like to do is start it off with a kill. You're going to run in, dodge next to an enemy, which will in return give you your throwing knife back, throw your knife, and then again, run next to an enemy, dodge, throw your knife, and there you go, it'll give you a kill. So again, as you can see, it's definitely nowhere near as easy to use. We're going to try and go into this next room, and hopefully I don't die. I'm a little bit squishy, so we'll see what happens. So again, try and keep our playing with fire active in this room. I want to try and get this harpy gone. So the idea of this is the big guys, like the Minotaurs or an enemy with a shield or a major enemy, they're going to take a lot longer to kill and they will burn. So when the enemies burn, as you can see, you get your dodge charges back very, very quickly. Again, you can use your supers whenever you feel like you need to. So we ended up hitting the Minotaur there, which was very good, which will give us our dodge charges back. So with this, like I said, you have to know when to use your certain abilities. Again, it's not definitely the most optimal place to use it because it's a Nightfall and obviously the enemies hit very hard in here and I'm very squishy, so I can't play it exactly how I want to. Again, none of these builds with the infinite throwing knives are end game builds. I wouldn't use them in a raid, I wouldn't use them in a high score Nightfall or anything like that. It's just not worth it. You're better off sort of taking your time with a different build and sort of slowly working your way through. This is more of an enjoyment thing. It's definitely not for efficiency, it's just for, you know, a general change of pace and play style and just sort of enjoyment out of the game. But with that being said, let's just get into a little bit of gameplay and I hope you enjoy the build.
It's only taken me a few centuries to suppress them.
Cabal are here.
Correct. I have been monitoring Vex transmissions. The Cabal are invading the installation as well. Gotta love coincidence.
That guy looked like a commander of some sort.